I'll share a quote. No amount of regret changes the past. No amount of anxiety changes the future. But any amount of gratitude changes the present. That's how powerful gratitude is. But given all this, it's amazing how we can forget gratitude, isn't it? How we have to be reminded about gratitude. For example, recall a time when you wanted certain things, and when you got them, you were off to the next thing, right? This effect is called hedonic adaptation. Hedonic adaptation. It means you adapt to feelings of joy. Your brain just gets used to them. Just like you get adapted to feelings of, you watching the people in Sudan and Gaza, the terrible things that are happening there. We hear it enough, and the nervous system just kind of starts to tune it out. So it's our job as empathetic beings to tune back in. But today we're tuning into gratitude. So this forgetfulness about gratitude is true whether we're talking about friends or possessions or achievements or just gratitude for life. Epicurus said that, remember that what you have now was once among the things you only hoped for. So think about that. What you have now was once among the things you only hoped for. So are there things in your life that are those things that you wished for and prayed for and that you got and that you have that maybe you forgot to be in awe of? And one of these things is your life. Isn't it funny how we forget? We forget so easily. So that's why I think that gratitude is a marvelous spiritual practice. And I call it the altitude of gratitude. And think of things that keep you at this altitude of gratitude, meaning you are grateful not for something, you're just grateful just because. You are just carrying a state of gratitude, and nothing can knock you off that, hopefully. But we as humans, we do descend and fall off of this altitude of gratitude. There's an author named Alan Cohen who wrote a book called Why Your Life Sucks. Anybody ever heard of that book? It's a good spiritual book, bestseller. And he said the reason why your life sucks is because you forgot to enjoy the ride. You forgot to enjoy the ride. You forgot to be grateful in the moment. When I was younger, I was part of a musical group of drummers and horn players. It's called Drum Corps International, and it was 130 kids just in my group. And there were hundreds of groups around the country. And every summer, we would get on 3 buses with an 18-wheeler equipment truck and an 18-wheeler food truck and a caravan of staff vehicles and 25 staff, and we would hit the road for 40 days, and we would tour the country. And so I did this from when I was 14 to when I was 21, saw every state, into Canada, saw every single state except for Alaska. I don't know why, and too cold, yeah. But, and with work in the late 90s, I went to Amsterdam, Paris, London, Berlin. Haven't been back to Europe since then. But I was thinking about this youth group I was a part. It was a drumming group. It was a competitive drumming group, and I was so fixated on winning because we were competing against other groups. And then we would also have individual drumming competitions, and I wanted to be the best drummer in the world. And I was so fixated on that I was forgetting to get to know the people around me and realize as I was traversing these towns to take them in and to savor them and appreciate them, because I may never see those again. So I was not enjoying the ride. So was there a time in your life where you maybe forgot to stop and smell the roses? And like I said, I'm not here to say regret that, but it's a lesson for us to stop and smell the roses right now. So it's clear that we're not always in gratitude consciousness. Sometimes we're in complaint consciousness. And there's a wonderful, actually there's a slide. Let's see if it's there. Yay, the slide's there. So this is on the left side, it's a window through which you can see happy things and gratitude. And on the right side, there's a little label that says grumbletude. Grumbletude. And this is from an author named Z. Egloff, and she says, grumbletude turns my life into a dark and cloudy place. Everything looks so gloomy and gray. I worry that the sun will never come back. Gratitude, on the other hand, brings out the sunshine. Everything looks so bright and sparkly and beautiful. The wonderful thing about grumbletude and gratitude is I am always at choice. In every moment, in every day, I choose my view. And today, I choose gratitude. Thanks for sharing that slide, Ben. And so despite the condition of the world, the politic, the pollution, I could just go on and on. Despite everything, despite the tragedies, we can choose to be in a state of gratitude rather than fear. A number of years ago, I had the luck of having lunch a few times with Mary Morrissey, another spiritual teacher, and she shared with me a powerful view of gratitude. She said, when I think of gratitude, I think of, gratitude is a noun, it kind of sits there. But I think of, instead, she says, appreciating, because that's a verb. And so when I walk into a room or when I think about what I'm grateful for, I say, I appreciate this and I appreciate that. And when this really captures something. I tell people that I appreciate them. And that really just connects so much more than just saying, I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you as a person. I appreciate you in my life. So try that sometime. Try that with someone you love, someone you appreciate. So I'm asking you to establish a gratitude practice. I know, how many of you have gratitude journals? Great. How many of you have a gratitude practice that involves maybe at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, some sort of a thing like that? Anybody have another practice that doesn't include one of those things? Okay. Michael Beckwith says that when you have gratitudes when you wake up in the morning and gratitudes when you go to bed, everything in between will change. And that's where he's talking about this alchemy of gratitude. In Unity, sometimes they call it chemicalization, because something in the physical body is changed and shifted forever when you have a change in the mind. The other night, I had trouble sleeping, and I was trying to do all these meditations, and then I said, David, just be in gratitude. Just be in gratitude. And what I did, instead of saying I'm grateful for, I said, I'm going to try on the language of the inner child. And I just decided to simply say, I like my new home. I like this bed. And then I tried on, I love my job. I love my life. I love just being here right now. And I was asleep in no time flat. So that gratitude does shift consciousness in any environment. It can be a prayer. It can be a meditation. And maybe your prayer is, I appreciate X. I appreciate, well, not X. Little political joke there. I appreciate, I appreciate this. I appreciate that. I love this. I like that. So maybe that's your prayer. And speaking of prayer, I'm going to close with a saying from Meister Eckhart, a master teacher, and he said, if the only prayer that you ever say is thank you, that will be enough. If the only prayer you ever say is thank you, yeah. So Michael, why don't you come on up and let's just explore for a moment in consciousness some of these ideas. I had so many talks that had so many pieces of gratitude, and I didn't get all these ideas in. I'll complete with another Wayne Dyer quote, which is the one I'd started service with, which is, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. And so as we go in for a moment of prayer, we remind ourselves to stay in a state of gratitude in this moment. Gratitude for it all. Just think about this. What are you appreciating right now? What do you like? What do you love? Think about someone that you love. And isn't love just that gratitude, that appreciation for that person? And so you're creating this feeling of love within yourself that you can carry with you, even though that person may not even be with you in this life, in this dimension anymore. You're carrying this feeling of love, of appreciation, of gratitude. And you're carrying it with you today as an active point, as an active point of light to everyone you meet. To everyone you meet. We're here to make a difference. We're here on purpose, and we're here in community each Sunday to remember how grateful we are, how blessed we are. And so it is.